In this tutorial, I'll show you how you can create a scatter plot using Tableau. This compares two quantitative variables. Specifically, we're going to look at number of people in the household versus household income in US dollars based upon the PUMS data for Oregon 2023. I will also show you how to create a scatter plot with the same two quantitative variables and an additional categorical variable where we use different point characters, colors, and sizes for a categorical variable. To get started, we need to upload our data. Go to text file to start for a CSV file, then upload your data. Opening the dataset might take a moment or two. Once it's open, go ahead and go to Worksheet. In Tableau, there are two variable types. There are categorical variables that are called dimensions. They go above this line. Then there are quantitative variables that are called measures. In this example, we're going to use our measures or quantitative variables to create a scatter plot. Specifically, we want to use the number of people, so NP, to start, and we're going to put that up into columns. Then we want to also use household income. We can search for that variable under HINCP, and I can see that it's popped up here. So I'm going to put that into rows. Now I want to make sure that my axes look good. So I have number of people on my horizontal axis, and I have household income on my vertical axis. Something else funky that's happened is I only have this one point that showed up. So obviously we know we have a lot more data points in this data set, so I can go up to analysis, and I notice that this aggregate measures is selected. I deselect that, and sure enough, now I get a scatter plot. Now I'm actually almost done with my scatter plot, but down here I can see that there's 867 nulls. This essentially just means that there are missing values. I can select this and remove it or filter it out from my data. So now that I've done that, I can add in a new chart title. Here under Sheet 1, I can double click and add in a nice title. Once I've typed in my title, I press apply and I can see how it looks in my chart. Then I press OK and it's finished. Now to select my axis title down below, I can change this from NP by double clicking and putting in the correct title name. Number of persons in household. Now I can just go up and click out of it and it's automatically visible on my chart. Do the same thing for household income. Pressing X, it should come right up onto my chart. Now, there's a couple of extra things that I can change about this chart. I noticed that there's grid lines. That's fine. I can go right up to Format, and under Lines, I can remove those grid lines. Right now, it says grid lines, and it has a little line here. I can select none instead, and they're gone now. So now I've increased my data ink ratio. And this is how we can create a basic scatter plot in Tableau. The next step, if you want to stay, is to add color based upon a categorical variable. So if I go back to my original data, I can click out of this formatting, go back to data, and I can see all the different variables. I want to use the access internet variable. And one thing I know about the PUMS data set is that everything is coded as numerical options. And so I know that this data though is categorical. So I'm going to take it from the measures area and I'm going to drag it above into the dimensions area. This means it's now a categorical variable. I'm then going to select it and drop it down into the marks area. From here, I can change it from a detail to a color. And notice that nothing looks like it's happened here, but that's just because we don't have very many 2s and 3s in this data. So I can also drop this down again and change the size based upon the category. Now I can see those other options easier. And then the final thing that I can do, if I not only want to do color and size, I can also change the shape. So dropping it down into marks, I can select the details and choose a different shape for each one of my options. Now I can see how Tableau made the distinction between the different categories. One last thing that I can do is these are coded as 1, 2, and 3. If I want these in the legend to actually show the names, I can go to the data dictionary to look up what they actually mean in the PUMS data, then go to aliases. From here, I know that 1 is yes, they pay a provider for internet. 2 is yes, they have internet, but they don't pay a provider. And 3 is that they don't have access at all. So now I press OK, and I can see that the aliases change over here in my legend. And this is how you can create a scatter plot with an additional categorical variable, change the colors, change the sizes, and also change the point character.